Okay, welcome to this MATLAB quick take video. In this video, we're going to take a look at generating samples of a cosine waveform. In fact, we could call this video, wow, look at that ugly cosine waveform. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to consider y of t equals cosine 2 pi 3000t. And we know that if we sample at 8,000 samples per second, that's fast enough to capture the essence of the original analog signal y of t, according to the sampling theorem. Okay, so let's define f naught to be 3000, and then the period of that signal would be 1 over 3000. And so it says here in the instructions to generate 5 periods of y of t. Okay, so I also wanted to cover MATLAB commands that would make that happen. I did 10, so let me change that back to 5. We're going to generate a time signal, and we're going to start here at 0 in steps of 1 over fs all the way out to 5 times the period of the signal. All right. Then we just plug into the cosine waveform, and we have a way of generating samples of that cosine waveform. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to plot, using the plot command, we're going to plot y versus the t-axis. Then what I want you to do is hold that plot and do a stem plot right over the top of it. Okay, so all these are MATLAB commands. Hopefully you're learning MATLAB as you go or already know a little bit about it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to run this and take a look at the signal. Okay, so this is the point where we say, wow, look at that ugly cosine waveform. It doesn't look like a cosine at all. And in fact, when I did the plot command, MATLAB uses straight lines to connect the signal samples. Okay, so you see, it turns out that the sampling theorem, it's based on what's the minimum number of samples of reconstructing the original analog waveform, not on what makes good plots. Okay, so what I wanted to show you next is that if I wanted a nice looking plot, I really need to sample a lot faster. So I'm going to sample at 10 times the original sampling rate. So I'm making a second vector, t2, and it's going to go out to 5 periods in steps of 1 over 10 times fs. All right, so I'm increasing the sampling rate by a factor of 10. All right, so I generate y2 based on the t2 time vector. I've got the plot held, and so I can plot over the top. And what you see in that plot, let me drag it to the middle. Here's the nice looking, the red part is the nice looking cosine waveform. All right, it's not this ugly stem plot thing that we see that doesn't really look like a cosine. All right, so I wanted you to be aware that when you look at plots of discrete time sinusoids, they don't necessarily look pretty.